With the NFL draft coming up, I thought it would be a good time to take a closer look at one of the more interesting traditions that comes with what some fans think is the biggest day in football. Some even think bigger than the Super Bowl itself. Wherever you may be, however you may be watching, thank you for giving me just a few minutes of your time. When most of us were young, getting picked last for a team was something we all dreaded. But since the mid-1970s, getting picked last in the annual NFL draft has become a badge of honor. But who decided that getting picked last was so great? Well, that would be former Southern California and NFL wide receiver Paul Salata. You can see him on your screen right there. Actually see his Bowman football card from many, many years ago. Salata was a former wide receiver in the National Football League and the All-American Football Conference. Salata played for the AAFC and NFL's San Francisco 49ers between 1949 and 1950. He would score the last touchdown for the 49ers in the AAFC as well as the team's first touchdown in the NFL. He would go on to play for the AAFC's Baltimore Colts, and after the Colts franchise folded in 1950, he was declared draft eligible and was subsequently drafted in the 10th round of the 1951 NFL Draft by the Pittsburgh Steelers. He would go on to play his final 3 seasons in Canada before returning to his native Southern California to join his family's construction business. Paul Salata, as you can see the more recent picture of him right here, would finish his career with 50 receptions for 618 yards and 4 touchdowns. Salata would eventually found the Mr. Irrelevant event in Newport Beach, California, and he continued to announce the final pick of the NFL Draft until 2013. Today, Salata is still alive, 91 years old, and lives in Los Angeles. In 2014, his daughter, Melanie Salata Finch, took over announcing the last pick of the draft, and does it still to this day. But what are some of the other interesting facts about Mr. Irrelevant? Well, I have a few to share, if you'll indulge me. The Oakland/Los Angeles/Oakland/Las Vegas Raiders have picked the most Mr. Irrelevants with a total of 6, the most recent being Maine wide receiver Kevin McMahon in 2006. The label Mr. Irrelevant wasn't officially given to the last player taken in the draft until 1976. The first player to be given this moniker was Kevin Kirk, who was taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers with the 28th pick of the 17th round. That is the 487th overall selection. That was a long, long draft to watch, I'm guessing. But getting picked last isn't all bad. The new Mr. Irrelevant and his family are invited to spend a week in Newport Beach, California, where they enjoy a trip to Disneyland, a golf tournament, a regatta, and a roast giving advice to the new draftee, as well as a ceremony awarding him the Lozman Trophy. This trophy mimics the Heisman but depicts a player fumbling a football. Make jokes about his facial expression in the comments below. I can't wait for you guys to have at it. However, the player isn't always the only one to benefit from this dubious distinction. Irrelevant Week gave so much publicity to Mr. Irrelevant that in 1979, the Los Angeles Rams, with the second to last pick in that draft, intentionally passed to let the Pittsburgh Steelers with the last pick choose first. The Steelers also wanted the publicity and passed as well. The two teams continued to refuse to choose a player until NFL Commissioner Pete Rozelle forced the teams to pick, with the Steelers winning the final pick. The incident led to the implementation of what is now called the Salata Rule, which prohibits teams from passing to get the last pick. Prior to the establishment of Mr. Irrelevant, Jimmy Walker was the final pick in the 1967 draft, despite never having played college football. His main sport, however, was basketball, in which he was a consensus All-American and the nation's leading scorer as a senior at Providence College. Walker's basketball skill would lead to him being the first overall selection in the 1967 NBA draft. Obviously, he opted for a career in the NBA, so that means he was picked both first overall and last overall in the same calendar year. That's something that nobody else has ever done before, at least not in the research that I've done. Walker is also the father of former Chicago Bulls star Jalen Rose. But have any players that have been picked last in the draft had any success? Actually, several players have gone on to make their marks in the NFL, and here are some of the notable final picks. Special teams player Marty Moore became the first Mr. Irrelevant to play in the Super Bowl with the New England Patriots in Super Bowl 31. 2017 Mr. Irrelevant Ole Miss quarterback Chad Kelly, the nephew of former Buffalo Bills quarterback and Hall of Famer Jim Kelly, was drafted last largely because injury and discipline questions lowered his previously high draft stock. Kelly progressed to become the Denver Broncos' second-string quarterback by the 2018 preseason before being released by the team on October of that year. He later signed with the Indianapolis Colts and is currently still on their roster. But the most successful Mr. Irrelevant by far has been a kicker. 2009 Mr. Irrelevant Ryan Succop became the starting kicker for the Kansas City Chiefs and would go on to tie the NFL record for highest field goal percentage by a rookie in a season, making good on 86.2% of his attempts, while passing NFL Hall of Famer Jan Stenrud for most field goals made by a rookie in Chiefs history. Succop would be awarded the Mack Lee Hill Award that year and has been a starting kicker in the NFL since his rookie season. making good on 81.5% of his field goals and a perfect 100% on extra point attempts. Succop moved to the Tennessee Titans for the 2014 season and was signed to a contract extension early in 2018. He is still on their roster. The most recent Mr. Irrelevant is Caleb Wilson, who was taken by the Arizona Cardinals with the 254th pick overall. That is the 40th pick of the 7th round in the 2019 NFL Draft. On December 13th of 2019, Wilson was signed off the Cardinals practice squad to the active roster of the Washington Redskins, where he is still there. I hope you found this video interesting, and I hope your team does well in the upcoming draft. Go down in the comments below and give us your thoughts. Please like and share the video with some of your football fan friends. We do have the draft coming up tomorrow as I make this video. And until next time, thanks for watching. See you guys later.